It's been a rough year for DC. All right. We've had Black Adam flop, Shazam 2, massive flop, Blue Beetle flop, The Flash, maybe one of the biggest flops in Warner Brothers history in terms of how much money it's going to lose them. But there's one more thing that's left to release, and that is Aquaman 2. We finally got a trailer less than 100 days out, and they're finally starting to promote this thing. Who knows how much money they're going to spend promoting it, because there's a lot of rumors out there that they've already basically given up. They know it's likely not going to do all that well. But one of the things we started to hear were that people were walking out of Aquaman 2 during some of the test screenings when this thing was in production. We've heard this for a couple months now, but recently Grace Randolph brought it up again in her trailer, in her take on the trailer. Listen to this.
I think that's fine for a first trailer, but because I've heard people walked out of the test screening, I'd like to get a little bit of a better feel for the story, because that makes me very nervous. But what
the thing that is making people walk out of the trailer, it's not just Amber Heard's, presence, although that would be understandable. It's actually something else. This is the new report, the new rumor that's out there. Aquaman 2 kills baby. Viewers walk out.
What? Wow.
Scoopers reveal a disgusting scene takes place in James Wan's sequel. Now, if you watched the trailer, you saw that one of the first things, hey, I'm a husband and a father now, and they show the little baby and him spending time with the baby. If this is true, if these scoopers who have talked about this are right, here you go. This baby's going to fucking die, by the way, says, can we get some toast? If that's true, it's not necessarily unprecedented. It actually happened in the comics in a similar fashion. Sometime in the 70s, Aquaman was put in this position where he was trapped and he was trying to save his child, him and Mira's child, and he got there too late. The baby died. And that was pretty dark. That was back in the 70s at some point in Aquaman movies, or in Aquaman comic books. So it wouldn't surprise me if they try to utilize that. The idea of having a child die or something is also not something we haven't seen before in movies. But the fact that people got up and walked out has to tell you that there's something must be something very disturbing or graphic about it, at least when they were screening it. To be fair, they could have changed all those things since then. They've gone through 3 rounds of reshoots for this mess. But apparently this is the reason that people were walking out of test screenings for Aquaman 2.
The movie could be so bad that when it got to this scene, they just decided to leave. And this is the excuse that they're using. There is absolutely no hope for this film, sadly. And I think the bar graph will go even lower, in my opinion, on Aquaman 2. There's no reason for anyone to watch this. People can wait till it comes out on streaming or wherever. There's no point in spending all that money to go to the theater and see where this universe goes, because this is the end of the what universe is this? This the Snyder universe, I guess, maybe? Or
they're basically saying, well, this movie isn't really connected to anything. It's just its own standalone sequel. But we could have there is enough room for a third movie if they wanted it. Shit like that. Nobody has any idea.
Yeah. See, it's just they've done way too much damage with when they started with James Gunn. It's gonna redo the whole thing and all their announcements. People just don't care.
Out of the last 7 movies, maybe 8 movies that DC has released, none of them have made money DCEU wise. Starting with Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey lost money. Wonder Woman 1984 lost money. The Suicide Squad lost money. Black Adam lost money. Shazam: Fear the Gods lost money. The Flash lost money, and Blue Beetle lost money. That is that is a horrific stretch. So it makes Marvel struggles look not big of a deal.
Yeah, so these past 6 are all in the red.
Now, you have in that same time period, I think Joker was released in 2019, right? That's a standalone $1 billion DC movie, not connected to this universe. And then The Batman was released last year. That made, $750 million, something like that. That made money for them, but that had nothing to do with this universe either.
Right.
So it's been a rough stretch, and I don't think there's really any reason to believe Aquaman 2, despite being the sequel to a $1 billion movie, is really going to be any different for them.